This video is brought to you by Moomoo. Don't forget to hit the link down below and pin in the top comments to get up to 10 free stocks for just signing up and depositing any amount. Moomoo does not use payment for order flow, so shout out to them, and you'll also get free access to level 2 order book where you can see where people's are loading up, dropping off, and you can see other exchanges which can kind of tell you how your stock market is going to open. You will also get access to options and going short on there and access to margin trading. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. Alright guys, so as many of you know on the channel, we go over technical analysis and we kind of go over anything that comes out on AMC, but today's Saturday, the market's closed, and I was kind of thinking, what is going to make AMC squeeze, right? I just sat down, didn't plan on making a video, well at least not about this, right? I was going to get into that as I was going to do some charting, and that'll probably come out later if you guys want to see that. But I kind of have something set up pretty simple for you. And I wanted to go over it, right? I literally just put this in simplest terms as if I was asking myself a question. So we have AMC. Everything around this revolves around AMC, as well as GameStop, sure. But we have bailout, which I would consider the DTCC, right? And the reason for this is because DTCC you can't really control, right? You can't really control what they do. Like when they bailed out Robinhood when the GameStop situation happened. Okay, so the DTCC is kind of isolated over here. You can't really, if AMC runs and it flies, you can't really control if the DTCC is going to bail out short sellers, institutions, or not. Okay, so that is kind of sitting off alone over here. But you also have corruption, which I would consider the SEC because they sort of allow many things to go on, right? Such as naked short selling, etc., etc. Right now we have holders and short sellers, and this is pretty much us, right? Holders buy and hold, short sellers short the stock. Okay, now this is where the main battle comes into play. Except holders can just buy more, and holders have patience. But this is something you can do as a trader in general, whether you're long or short on a position. Short sellers, on the other hand, have the SEC, I don't want to necessarily just call it the SEC, but in general corruption, right? You don't see a stock price go from $70 all the way down to about $12 with the same amount of holders up here at the peak, still holding it. Okay, so you have this pipeline to corruption, okay, and I would consider this naked short selling. And I'm just going to draw two arrows back and forth. I think this is the main issue. This is the main pipeline. Now, no matter how much holders buy, right? If you have a buy order for 12 shares, short seller can drop in a sell order for 12 synthetic shares. The SEC is not going to touch it. They have this pipeline, right? And until we figure out how to put a block, how do you block this pipeline? How do you stop this? How do you block this? How do you put pressure on this pipeline? Because right now there's none. And with there being none, price can just drop in their favor. And of course, obviously, you can talk about under $10, collateral haircuts, this and that. It's going to get more expensive for them, right? Why haven't they dropped it under there? Why isn't it under there? Could be because it's putting more pressure, right? It's costing more money, collateral haircuts. After that came into play, the stock didn't want to go under 10 bucks. With that being said, how do we dispense cash on this pipeline? How do we put cash pressure on short sellers? There's only one way, and I've looked into it a bit, and if the SEC doesn't help, there is one way we could do so, and it is looking pretty promising for when Adam Aron is going to pounce. As you all know, Adam Aron issued a black NFT. This is sometimes symbolizing a company going cash flow positive. If that's the case, if that is the case, the only thing in my opinion to put pressure on this pipeline, put pressure on short sellers, is a dividend. And the reason for that is because whatever amount of synthetics come through this pipeline, okay, if there is a dividend, this has to be paid out by, you guessed it, short sellers, okay? This has to be paid out by short sellers. When short sellers short a stock and they borrow the shares from a holder or whoever, if this company, if these shares have a dividend, they are paid out by the short sellers. Short sellers do not like this. This puts a lot of pressure on short sellers. This, in my opinion, is the only way to put a blockade on this pipeline. Now, if this pounce is him coming out and issuing a dividend, that'd be beautiful, right? That would be amazing. Of course, right here, what can a company do about short sellers? Increase your dividend. Short sellers really do not like paying dividends to someone else. So when a company raises its dividend, it becomes extra painful to short sellers. Home Capital took a double punch to short sellers this year. In addition to its buyback, it also raised its dividend by 9% in February. So I kind of want to just get this out to you guys. It is looking a bit promising, depending on when Adam Aaron can do that, when he can clear debt. We'll see what happens. He hasn't really talked about, he said good things about Hycroft Mining, and they have a lot of exploration left to do, so they could make a fortune on that to clear some debt. And they also partnered with Uber Eats. They're just doing good overall. So this does look pretty promising, but I just wanted to point this out and say that there is a potential to close this pipeline, or at least put pressure on this pipeline. Now, with that being said, let's say, okay, there is a dividend. We do put pressure on this pipeline. What that's going to do is less synthetics are going to be flowing out through here, which means less price suppression. Now, if we're down here and if they want to keep us flat for however long amount of time, this dividend's still being paid over time. This dividend's being paid. And slowly we're buying, Shorts are going to want to cover this, especially when they hear about a dividend being paid. Which also leads me into GameStop's 4-to-1 split. That's going to be happening Monday. So guys, tune in for the next video. Make sure to have post notifications on. Hit that subscribe and hit that like if you find anything valuable out of the video. That is it, guys. I love you all. Lottery Stocks out.